Hello everyone. Let me ask you something powerful. Have you ever stopped speaking English in front of others because you were afraid they might laugh at your pronunciation? Have you ever repeated a word again and again, wondering if it even sounds right anymore? You know what you want to say, the words are in your mind, but when they come out, they sound wrong. That moment of hesitation, that small pause before you speak, can break your confidence. And slowly, you start believing, maybe English just isn't for me. But I want you to know, it is. You can sound clear. You can sound confident. You can sound fluent. You don't need to copy someone's accent. You just need clarity. And today, I'll show you how. You're about to learn 7 simple exercises that can fix your pronunciation step by step. No teacher. No stress. Just results. Because your voice, your sound, it matters. It carries your thoughts, your confidence, your story. And if your pronunciation stands between you and your dreams, then it's time to break that wall forever. Let's start from the truth. Most people think pronunciation means accent. They try to sound like British or American speakers. But pronunciation isn't about accent, it's about clarity. It's about being understood easily, without repeating yourself. The goal isn't to sound foreign. The goal is to sound confident. And confidence begins with awareness. Awareness of how you speak, how you breathe, how your tongue and lips shape the words you say. So, before we begin the practical exercises, let's take a deep breath together. Breathe in. Hold it. Now slowly release it. That's your voice starting to open up. Because pronunciation is not just about your mouth, it's about your body, your breath, and your mindset. When your body relaxes, your sound flows freely. And when your mind calms down, your tongue starts to obey. Now imagine this. You're standing in front of a mirror. You look into your own eyes and say, I will speak English clearly. I will train my tongue and voice to obey me. You don't whisper it. You say it like a promise. Because that's where it starts, with belief. Before your tongue moves, your belief must move first. The first exercise begins not with sound, but with listening. Because you can't fix what you don't hear. Every day, listen to native speakers, but not passively. Choose one short video, maybe 30 seconds long, and replay it. Listen not to the words, but to the music behind them, the rhythm, the pauses, the rise and fall. That rhythm is what gives English its soul. It's what makes it sound smooth and natural. When you listen like that, you start to train your ears to catch details, the way can becomes can, or how want to becomes wanna. These small patterns create fluency. Fluency is rhythm, and rhythm is memory. The more your ears catch it, the faster your mouth adapts. You see, your mouth is like a dancer, and your ears are the choreographer. If your ears don't hear the right moves, your mouth can't perform them. So, the first habit is listening, not for meaning, but for sound. Once your ears learn, your voice follows. Now comes the second exercise, mirror practice. I call it mirror talk therapy. Stand in front of a mirror and speak for 2 minutes every day. Pick any topic, your day, your dream, your favorite movie. Speak slowly, clearly, and watch your lips. Notice how they move when you say V versus W. Very well. Victory versus water. See the difference? V touches the teeth. W pushes the air forward. You might think you're saying it right, but when you watch yourself, you'll see the truth. The mirror never lies. When you see your own mouth shaping the sound, your brain begins to remember it. That's how babies learn. They imitate, they see, they repeat. You're just retraining your speech muscles the same way. And as you do this, don't just copy sounds. Add emotion. Say it with feeling. Because emotion gives life to pronunciation. A flat voice sounds robotic. A feeling voice sounds real. And real is what people connect with. The third exercise is shadowing, one of the most powerful pronunciation tools in the world. Find a short English audio. It could be from a movie, podcast, or TED Talk. Play one sentence. Pause. Repeat it immediately after the speaker, matching their tone, timing, and stress. It's like singing along to your favorite song. When you shadow, you teach your mouth to move like theirs, not by theory, but by practice. This builds muscle memory. You don't think before speaking, you just speak naturally. Because your brain learns patterns through repetition. Every language has its own music. When you shadow, you're training yourself to sing that song naturally. But here's the truth most people ignore. You can shadow all you want, but if your inner voice says, "I can't do it," you'll never sound right. So, the real challenge isn't pronunciation, it's mindset. You have to break the voice inside you that says, "People will laugh." Let them laugh. Because soon, they'll listen. Every great speaker was once an insecure learner. Every confident accent began as a trembling voice. When I started learning English, I mispronounced comfort as comfortable. People laughed. But that moment didn't destroy me, it built me. Because every mistake I made was one step closer to mastery. You only lose when you stop trying. Now, the fourth exercise, slow down. Yes, slow down. You can't improve pronunciation when you speak too fast. Fast speech hides mistakes. Slow speech reveals them. And when you hear your own mistakes, you can fix them. Many learners rush because they think fluency means speed. But real fluency means control. Control over your sound, your tone, and your pause. When you slow down, your pronunciation sharpens like a blade. You give every syllable a home. And slowly, your mind and mouth start working together like a team. Remember, clear is better than fast. A slow, confident speaker always sounds smarter than a fast, unclear one. So practice speaking one sentence slowly and clearly, emphasizing every sound. For example, "I want to improve my pronunciation." Say it word by word. I pause, want, pause, to, pause, improve, pause, my, pause, pronunciation. Then repeat it faster. You'll see the difference. This small drill alone can change your speaking forever. Now let's talk about breathing, the hidden power of good pronunciation. When you breathe shallowly, your voice becomes weak. When you breathe deeply, your sound gains strength. Try this. Take a deep breath and say, "I believe in myself." Feel how the words come out strong and steady. Now say it again without breathing. It sounds shaky, right? That's because your voice rides on your breath. Without breath, there is no voice. So, before speaking English, before any presentation, conversation, or recording, always breathe deeply. Fill your lungs with confidence. Because breath gives power, and power gives clarity. Now let's talk about the emotional side of pronunciation, the side most teachers never mention. Pronunciation isn't only about your tongue and lips. It's about how you feel when you speak. If you feel nervous, your tongue tightens. If you feel confident, your sound flows. That's why some people speak perfectly at home, but stammer in public. Their emotion changes their sound. So, to improve pronunciation, you must train not only your mouth, but your mindset. Before you speak, tell yourself, "I'm not trying to be perfect. I'm trying to be better." Because perfection creates pressure, and pressure kills performance. But improvement creates freedom, and freedom creates fluency. The next exercise is to record yourself. Yes, it feels strange at first. Hearing your own voice can be uncomfortable. But your recording is your best teacher. When you listen to yourself, you catch things your brain usually misses, unclear endings, weak stress, missing sounds. It's like shining a flashlight in the dark corners of your pronunciation. So record yourself reading one paragraph daily. Listen. Identify one mistake. Fix just one. And over a month, that one-by-one improvement transforms your entire sound. At this stage, some learners say, "But my tongue doesn't move that way." That's because your mouth muscles are not used to English sounds yet. Every language has its own muscle pattern. In your native language, your tongue moves differently, maybe flatter, maybe faster. To fix that, you need articulation drills, tiny workouts for your mouth. Try saying, "Red leather, yellow leather." Say it 5 times quickly. This exercise wakes up your tongue and lips. It builds flexibility and control. Another one. She sells seashells by the seashore. It's not just a tongue twister, it's pronunciation gym. Do it daily. You'll notice your speech becoming smoother and sharper. Now, let's add another layer, emotion and storytelling. Why? Because people don't remember perfect pronunciation, they remember feeling. Even if you speak a little imperfectly, if your voice carries emotion, people will listen. So, practice reading emotional lines out loud. Say them with meaning. If the line says, "I'm proud of myself," say it proudly. If it says, "I failed, but I'll try again," say it with determination. Emotion controls intonation, the rise and fall of your voice, and that's what makes pronunciation alive. Let me tell you a short story. There was a student named Arjun. He was brilliant at grammar, knew hundreds of words, but he avoided speaking. Whenever he tried, his pronunciation froze. One day, his teacher asked him to read a poem out loud, and he refused. He said, "I can't. People will laugh." But the teacher told him, "Then read it to yourself in the mirror." Arjun did it for 7 days, every morning. He looked at himself, stumbled, corrected, tried again. By the 7th day, something changed, his confidence. He didn't sound perfect, but he sounded alive. And that was enough. Because pronunciation isn't about perfection, it's about connection. When you speak with courage, your mistakes turn into music. You are not here to sound like someone else. You are here to sound like the best version of yourself. English doesn't belong to one country. It belongs to everyone who learns it with heart. So stop comparing your voice. Don't say, "My accent is bad." Say, "My clarity is improving." That shift in mindset alone will multiply your progress. Now, before we move to the second half of this training, let's recap the emotional truth behind pronunciation. Your sound represents your self-belief. The clearer your voice, the stronger your mind. So, when you practice pronunciation, you're not just learning to speak, you're learning to believe. And when belief meets practice, transformation begins. Welcome back. You've already come this far. That means you're serious about change. Most people quit after watching for 2 minutes. But not you. You stayed, you listened, you practiced. And that's why your journey to clear, confident English is already halfway complete. Now it's time to go even deeper, to polish the final parts of your sound, your confidence, and your connection. Because pronunciation isn't just about sound. It's about energy. It's about what your voice says about you, even before your words begin. We already talked about listening, mirror practice, shadowing, slowing down, breathing, recording, and articulation. Now let's add the final touches, the mindset and daily practice that make your pronunciation natural, automatic, and unforgettable. Let's begin with something simple but powerful, reading out loud. Take a paragraph from any English book, article, or motivational quote. Read it aloud every morning for 5 minutes. But here's the secret. Don't just read, perform it. Pretend you're giving a speech. Use your hands. Move your face. Let every word come alive. Why? Because when your body joins your voice, your pronunciation improves 10 times faster. It's called full body speaking. Actors use it. Public speakers use it. Because when you use emotion and movement, your words stop being mechanical. They start sounding natural. If you make this your morning ritual, you'll notice something amazing after a few days. Your tongue will start remembering the rhythm. Your brain will predict the next sound before you even think about it. You'll feel English becoming part of your reflex. That's the moment fluency begins. Now, let's talk about one of the most underestimated habits: reading with subtitles. When you watch English movies or shows, don't turn the subtitles off. Read along with the characters. Listen to how they stress certain words. For example, they don't say, "I didn't say she stole the money," in one flat tone. They change the stress each time to create a new meaning. "I didn't say she stole the money. I didn't say she stole the money. I didn't say she stole the money." Do you see how one sentence can carry 7 meanings just by changing pronunciation stress? That's how powerful your tone is. So when you watch, listen deeply. Pause. Repeat. Copy. Soon, you'll notice that your natural tone starts sounding smoother, richer, and more expressive. Now let's do something fun. Singing in English. Yes, you heard me right. Singing helps pronunciation. Because when you sing, you stretch sounds, you open your mouth, you practice rhythm. And rhythm is what gives English its natural flow. You don't have to be a great singer. Just pick one simple song. Maybe "Count on Me" by Bruno Mars or "Perfect" by Ed Sheeran. Sing along. You'll start learning how words blend, how syllables connect, and how stress naturally shifts. That's how your mouth learns to dance with the language. It's not study, it's fun learning. But while you do all this, remember something deeply important. Never be ashamed of your voice. Your accent is not a weakness. It's a story of where you come from. It shows you've learned, adapted, and grown. The goal is not to erase your accent. The goal is to speak so clearly that everyone understands you and feels your confidence. Clarity is power. Confidence is music. And when the two meet, pronunciation becomes art. Now imagine this. You walk into an interview. The interviewer says, "Tell me about yourself." And you smile, calm, confident, and begin speaking in clear English. Your voice is strong. Your pronunciation is sharp. Every word lands perfectly. You're not rushing, not hiding, not doubting. You're communicating with power. That's the moment your hard work pays off. That's when your sound becomes your strength. But here's the truth. None of this happens overnight. It happens with consistency. 5 minutes daily is better than 2 hours once a week. Because small, daily practice builds strong habits. And habits shape identity. You don't become fluent in a day. You become fluent by showing up every day, even when no one's watching, even when no one's clapping. Every time you repeat a sound correctly, your brain builds a new pathway. That's how mastery is created, not through magic, but through repetition. You repeat, fail, adjust, repeat again, until one day, you just speak. And it feels easy. That's when you'll smile and realize it was never about having a perfect accent. It was always about finding your true voice. Now let's talk about confidence when speaking in public. Many learners say, "I can speak English alone, but when I face others, I freeze." That's because your fear blocks your voice. Your body tenses. Your breath shortens. Your tongue stiffens. So before speaking in public, try this simple 3-step ritual. 1. Take a deep breath. 2. Smile. 3. Speak slowly. The smile relaxes your muscles. The breath opens your lungs. And slow speech gives you time to think. That combination turns nervousness into control. You'll see, your voice will sound stronger, your pronunciation clearer, your confidence higher. Now, here's something you must remember forever. Fluency is not perfection, it's connection. People don't care if you mispronounce one word. They care about your message, your energy, your emotion. Even native speakers make pronunciation mistakes. But what makes them fluent is their confidence to keep speaking. So stop chasing perfect English. Start chasing powerful communication. Let me tell you about Maria. She moved from Brazil to the U.S. Her English was good, but her pronunciation made her shy. She avoided speaking in meetings. One day, her manager said, "Maria, you're smart, but we can't hear your ideas." That hit her hard. She decided to change. Every day, she recorded herself reading short articles. She watched TED Talks, shadowed speakers, and read in front of a mirror. 6 months later, she gave a company presentation. Her voice was clear, her pronunciation sharp. The same people who ignored her before now listened carefully. Because clarity demands attention. Confidence earns respect. Maria's story is your story waiting to happen. You have everything inside you to sound confident. You just need practice and patience. Every sound you repeat, every mistake you correct, brings you closer to mastery. The tongue that trembles today will speak powerfully tomorrow. The voice that hesitates now will one day inspire others. Remember, English is just a tool. It's not about sounding perfect. It's about expressing yourself, your dreams, your truth. When you speak from the heart, even broken words sound beautiful. Now let's bring everything together. Practice these 7 habits daily. Listen actively. Talk to your mirror. Shadow real speakers. Slow down. Breathe deeply. Record yourself. And read aloud with emotion. These are your pronunciation foundations. The exercises that transform fear into flow. They require no teacher, no class, no big budget. Just your time, your voice, and your belief. And if someday you feel tired, if you feel you're not improving fast enough, listen to this again. Remind yourself, you're not competing with anyone. You're just trying to sound a little better than yesterday. That's growth. That's success. The voice you have is powerful. It carries your personality, your courage, your intelligence. Don't let fear hide it. The world deserves to hear you. You deserve to be understood. And you can. Because pronunciation is not about speaking perfect English. It's about speaking your truth clearly. Now, before we end, I want to talk directly to you. If you've watched this far, it means you truly care about improving. So promise yourself this. From tomorrow, you will practice your pronunciation for just 5 minutes a day, every day, for the next 30 days. 5 minutes of focused effort can change your entire voice. And your voice can change your entire life. One day, you'll look back and say, "I used to struggle with pronunciation, but now, people listen when I speak." If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and share it with someone who is struggling to speak English clearly. Maybe your friend, your classmate, or your colleague, someone who just needs that little push of motivation. And if you're new here, subscribe now for more motivational English learning videos like this one. Because every week, we bring you lessons that don't just teach English. They teach confidence, discipline, and self-belief. Speech Balloon, tell me in the comments below. Backhand index pointing right, which pronunciation exercise helped you the most? I read every comment, and I love replying to your progress stories. Remember this line. Your accent is your identity, but your clarity is your power. So keep working on it until you sound exactly how you dream to sound. Thank you for watching. And as always, believe in your voice, because the world needs to hear it.